Oh man, I think I need to turn my speakers down in my new office here.
Oh, man.
It was like shaking and thundering out the whole room. I'm like, okay, maybe I have my audio off. But good afternoon, everyone. Or for those of you, which is pretty much everyone, stream this at night. We are here talking from my office. I moved upstairs to get more sunlight. I'll get my green screen back for those of you who love my natural screens. But Skip is still in his trendy backgrounds, his AI backgrounds. Oh man, I forgot to put up our new image of us talking.
Oh, yeah. I saw that earlier.
I didn't put up. Evidently, I didn't stick it on this one. I generated it. It's sitting right here in front of me.
Hmm.
So, anyways, today we're talking about like which AI is the right AI, and in our dev process, we were thinking like, do you do ChatGPT? Do you use Anthropic? What do you use? And which one is best for you? And there is an answer to this. There is a best AI.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know which one it is?
The one that works best for you?
The one that works best for you. One that is in the ecosystem that you're already in. I get asked this question all the time. In fact, I just watched a discussion on the business group on Facebook, and people are like, oh, Copilot sucks, or Gemini doesn't do what I want to. And people are like, oh, use this. And I'm like, use whatever ecosystem you're in. If you're a Google workshop, use Gemini. If you are a Microsoft workshop, use Copilot, but you're going to need to upgrade to Pro. And so understand the limitations, but they're all good. They all do a fairly good job. I mean, in my opinion, for just general creation standpoint, Opus 4.6 kicks the crap out of everybody.
Yeah, that one's all the Claude stuff is Yeah, is really good.
Yeah.
But speed wise, ChatGPT has been really good for me lately. I mean, I get quick answers, so I really like it. But I was kind of complaining in our meeting earlier today. For me, I don't know, maybe I read a little too much into it, but ChatGPT kind of has this tendency to act like a 12-year-old when you're trying to have them do something. And it keeps wanting to ask you questions. And I'm like, will you just quit asking questions and get to work? And so, but it's in understanding that and kind of, tailoring your prompts so that you can handle those situations. Those are unique little tweaks that you kind of start to pick up with the individual AIs out there. And so, like Adam was saying, the one that's in your ecosystem, that's probably going to provide you the biggest gain right out of the box because it's got connectivity. It's just all there. There's way less work you have to do. So tapping into that is the easy and the big gain. But now that you're in there, you might want to look a little bit deeper about how to make this one work just a little bit better. Yeah. There are settings that you can change or ways that you can structure your prompts. With ChatGPT, sometimes you have to be a little more direct. Tell it, shut up and get to work. But you can get there. And so you just need to find that that balance in whatever AI platform that you're working in.
Yeah, and I was just talking to even Andrea, and she was talking about how at the VA, so let's back this up a little bit. I was giving a talk a couple weeks ago to a bunch of businesses, and the topic was AI and what it actually means for business. And we were talking to her earlier that day and saying, well, I can't really do this and this and this with it. And I kind of mentioned that in the talk. Like, she's working at the VA, she likes AI, but there's no real reason to drive. She can't access a lot of her documents, and there's some restrictions there. And in the audience at the time was the IT guy for the region for the VA. And he approaches her after, he goes, you just need to ask to be in the program for Copilot Pro at the VA because it's a closed loop there. It's very, very controlled. And if you want, I'll put you in there. And Andrew's like, oh my gosh, it's so much better. And so sometimes it's just a matter of you need to understand where the limitations and why your AI sucks. Are you using it for the wrong thing, or does it not have enough connections?
Yeah.
Like Gemini has connections into your email, and into your Google Docs, and to your Google Sheets already. You can ask it questions and it will find the answers.
Mhm.
Same thing with Copilot. It already knows your email, it already knows your docs. You just got to make sure that you gave it access and that you're on the right plan to get that information.
Yep.
And when you do that, it's a big aha moment. That's where humanized AI becomes really useful, is the fact that we're able to tap into a lot of integrations that we built, a lot of MCPs that we built, and you can build things like you can in Claude. You can build things like you can in ChatGPT, but with your personal data set on the back. Is your data set a little messy? Yes. And understand that even within like PSAs, they have some horrible, horrible mapping schemes, and we
Yeah.
have to deal with them from an analytics standpoint. But it learns, AI learns. And so if you think in terms of which AI is best for you, uh, whatever ecosystem you're in, but instead, the bigger problem is for people to think non-deterministically, to start thinking in terms of how do I use this in an effective way? Don't think if then, think what do
Mhm.
I want to know? I now have an employee who knows everything. What do I want to know? And
Mhm.
so even this morning, I was talking to one of our members and training him up on how to use humanized AI. And he was still thinking in terms of segmentation strategy, A, B, C. And I said, well, what are you trying to do? And he's like, well, I want to look through and make sure that we're spending the right amount of time on QBR tickets for the right clients.
Mhm.
Why do you need segments for that? Well, in order, and we got down to it, is like he's trying to divide them up like he used to, and he was
Mhm.
trying to organize them for a human being. I said, watch this. So we went over to a virtual employee and said, hey, can you please evaluate all the clients once a week and look for QBR tickets and how much time has been scheduled to them, and give me recommendations on which ones I need to spend more time with.
No.
And an email popped
Yep.
into his inbox and he goes, huh.
There you go.
And that will run once a week for him. And he'll get that update. Instead of going through all the work of organizing the data, structuring it out and everything, we created one prompt in 5 minutes that did exactly what he wanted.
Mhm.
And that's the power of AI. It's more a mindset shift than it is which one's right for me.
Mhm.
Like, I still use Google, people. Why do I use Google? Because Perplexity is great at telling me about a website. Do you know what it doesn't do? Tell me what the website is.
Yeah.
I just
Yep.
I just wanted to go to a link. I wanted to see a trailer for the new Grogu and Mandalorian movie. Perplexity is not the place to go for that.
Yep.
I go to Google and I say, please show me the trailer for the new Grogu and Mandalorian movie. Or I'll go to YouTube and look it up there directly. Perplexity would say, oh, the new Mandalorian Grogu trailer popped up and it came out on Wednesday, February 18th. It aired at 8 a.m. and showcases some really great things. It's been well received by fans. Like, yes, but I want to watch the trailer.
Yeah. And
And so-
you can back into that tweaking element. We mentioned Opus 4.6. That's the latest release from Anthropic, and yeah, it's a really powerful tool. But if you're dealing with the limited amount of credits that you can use your AI tools on, that will drain the bucket really, really fast. And so for different applications, you may want to go in there and drop that back to a Sonnet level, and that's a great model. It will do a lot. Maybe you need to go and figure some things out, kind of lay out a structure and a process with Opus, let it write some instructions, and then turn around and let Sonnet do the more day-to-day function with that at I think it's a 1/10 burn rate on your token utilization. So there's lots of really cool ways you can get in there, and they're all going to tweak out just a little bit. So finding the one that's best for your ecosystem, and then lean into it. What makes it most effective? What does it not have access to that I need to set up? What are the security controls and kind of the safety parameters that you want to put on it? you can do those things. But if you're trying to jump over here and do, one thing with this tool, another thing with this tool, and another thing with that one, you're going to have a mess, and you're going to be constantly chasing settings and data connections and stuff like that. So leaning into the one that works best for you is going to be the best approach.
Yeah, and test them out. There's different ones. What AI is best for your client is another great question.
Mm-hmm.
So, healthcare providers, it's almost always going to be the same answer. Sorry, guys, Copilot.
Yeah.
Every time that's going to be the answer. Now, to be fair, Perplexity Pro, if you pay for the organizational enterprise one, does have closed loop HIPAA, does have some great features there for making sure your data is secure. But you have to make sure that the medical client knows to stay in the loop, and you're upgrading it and you're looking at it in the right context. Because if they, as a medical firm, this is a great doorbuster, people. If they, as a medical firm, aren't committed to, say, a Perplexity Pro or a pro version of Copilot, they're probably leaking data.
Yeah.
They mean well, and they may even think, oh, well, I'm using a pro version of what? And so in this situation, it's a great way to review with your clients. Let's make sure you're not leaking data to AI and have that conversation, because there is a right and a wrong way to use AI, and the wrong way will collapse your company. We talked about that in a podcast this week. What you don't know about AI will crush your company. And this is the future, people. This is where we're at. You can like it or hate it, but one way or another, you have to embrace it. You have to either come up with a stance of like yes or no, maybe. But when it comes to like what we're doing in Humanize AI, we're building an entire operating system around this so that you can operate in a safe and secure fashion. And we have learned so much about AI and what it means and what are the limitations. And it's going to get even crazier here over the next 60 days. And the things I have learned about AI and its functionality 6 months ahead of everybody else. It's crazy. And we're going to see some other things coming through. Like you look at Claude Opus 4.6, just go to Perplexity and ask Perplexity, what is Opus 4.6? What does it mean? And it is insane when you can take something like 1 million lines of code and put it into one prompt. And then Opus will break it up into subtasks and start a whole swarm of AIs working on this thing. And yes, it's going to burn through your credits like water on sand, people, but it's going to come out with something that is amazing, and it works. I know, because we use this every day. I spend probably 8 to 10 hours a day prompting and building and executing, revising, securing. And 4.6 is just making it even crazier. And then you guys start thinking, like, do I want 4.6 to work on this, or can I use Haiku? Haiku, very simple. I can do a lot of things with it. It's very fast, but it's a simple guy.
Yes.
He is,
and that actually makes it work.
Employee.
I mean, the simpler models will run faster for you. Basically, they're just loading. Well, not basically, but one of the elements is they're just loading less tokens. All right, they're loading less information at one time, and so just simple processing, they can get through that quicker. So if you need speed, then you need to establish your process, your workflow, all your parameters, and then hand that over to a model that can process that much, much better.
Yeah. And that is actually where it's getting tricky, and where you as IT professionals are going to become a little bit handier. What is the right mode of the AI for this job? You don't need a PhD postdoc analyst to tell you which column in your spreadsheet has bigger numbers. You do need the CEO/CFO analyst, multi-postdoc to tell you, what should I do with these numbers, and how are the trends going to look in 3 years, and how can I predict out a data model for a budget.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you need them. So when you ask them, you almost got to think of your AIs as different employees. And what are they doing?
Yeah.
What are they modeling? Where are they pushing things? And when you get there, now you can start saying which AI is right for me. Do they have multiple levels?
Mm-hmm.
Do they have different things? And that's more of deep thought stuff. Like, again, Claude IDE, Claude Opus 4.6, when you're actually modeling and creating things at not just cute little gimmick AI arts, when you're actually modeling, creating financial data and forecasting, if you want to see where stocks are going, if you want to model out what is going to happen to the price of chicken in the next 6 months, those are things that you can model really well.
Yeah.
And use the complicated guys for that. But use Haiku, use your Perplexity, your simple AIs to do simple things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, what's a good recipe for chicken? You know, how do I make this a little bit more savory? What movie should I watch tonight? Those are simple things ChatGPT can handle.
Yeah.
And or make me a cute picture of my puppy and kitten snuggling together. Cool. You know what? GPT can do that fantastic. But if you actually want to be professional, you actually want to think things through, you're gonna have to think of a modeling software. You're gonna have to think of a modeling AI, and you're going to pay for that. You're going to pay a significant amount of money for that. So again, like, to wrap this up, I know we're coming up here on time, but what is the right AI? It's usually the one you're using.
Yep.
And if you're getting frustrated that's not giving you the most accurate answers, if it's hallucinating a lot and it's feeding you misinformation, you're probably on too low of a tier.
Yep.
And look at your AI and say, is there another tier I could be on to get the answers that I need?
Yep.
Is it unable to read your document? Is a great first question. If it can't read your documents, you're probably using the wrong AI. If it can't read your email, there's probably something misconfigured.
Yep.
Because this is where the power of AI is in reading those history of documents, reading that history of emails, and getting you answers.
Yep.
So, all right, Skip, this is a great conversation. We're going to keep up these AI conversations. I'm going to try to get a couple guests on here to talk deep on AI and what that means from tech companies. Got a couple lined up, and they'll be on the podcast as well. We're really going to be leaning into this AI advisory role. So stay tuned to these every Thursday and every Monday when we release podcasts. Even though I know I was late this week, I won't be next week, I promise. All right, Skip, thanks for coming on. We'll see you all next week.
Thanks, everyone.